Before you die, there's something you need to understand, something no one teaches you. Not your parents, not your teachers, not even life, until it's almost too late. You don't really have time. You're borrowing it from a future that isn't promised. Every second you live is a second you'll never get back. And most of us never notice it slipping. We wake up, we scroll, we go through routines, we chase deadlines, we avoid discomfort, we convince ourselves we'll do the important things later. But here's the truth. Later is a lie we tell ourselves to feel safe. You've been alive for thousands of days, but how many of them have you actually lived? Like, really lived? Felt joy, felt pain, took risks, faced fear, created something, loved someone, spoke your truth. Think back to the last 3 years. Do you remember what you did? Or does it all blur together like static? This isn't your fault. The system trains us to wait. Wait for permission, wait for approval, wait for the right time. But time doesn't wait for you. It keeps moving, quietly, invisibly, relentlessly. And you don't hear it ticking until it's almost gone. One day you'll look around and realize everyone you love is older. The photos you took feel like ancient history. The friends you used to talk to barely remember your voice. You'll wonder how life moved so fast. Time doesn't scream, it whispers. It whispers through birthdays you didn't celebrate, through calls you didn't make, through ideas you never wrote down, through people you thought you'd always have. No one told you this in school. They told you to study hard, get good grades, be realistic. But they never taught you what to do when you feel lost, or what to chase when your soul feels empty. They never taught you how to protect your time from distractions, or how to say no to things that drain you. They didn't teach you that busy isn't the same as alive, and that someday is the most dangerous word in the human language. Here's the hard truth. You don't need more time. You need more intention, more presence, more courage. You need to stop treating life like a rehearsal, because this isn't the warm-up. This is the show. And you're on stage right now. But what do most of us do? We give our time to strangers on screens. We chase validation from people we'll never meet. We silence our passions because they don't pay enough. We shrink ourselves to fit into a mold that was never made for us. We wait and wait and wait. For what? Permission? A sign? The perfect conditions? Here's the secret. That moment will never come because you don't need permission. You need to start. Even scared, even imperfect, even small. You weren't born to just pay bills and survive. You were born to feel, to connect, to create, to love with your whole heart and fail without shame. You were born to chase sunsets, to dance when no one's watching, to write the book, paint the canvas, take the leap. You were born to live a story worth telling. And every moment you hesitate is a sentence you'll never write. You might think you have time, but the truth is, time has you. It owns your minutes, your moments, your memories, until you decide to to reclaim them. Do you know what most people regret at the end? It's not failure. It's not embarrassment. It's time. Time they didn't spend. Time they didn't fight for. Time they thought they'd have forever. You don't regret what you tried. You regret what you never had the courage to try. And that courage, it doesn't come when everything feels safe. It comes when you finally say, "This is my life, and I refuse to waste another second." You don't need to do something massive. You don't need to change the world today. But you do need to show up for yourself, for your future, for the people who matter. Ask yourself, what am I postponing? What lights me up that I've buried under fear? Who do I need to tell I love you to before it's too late? Because too late comes faster than you think. It comes in hospital rooms, in missed calls, in the silence between texts, in the jobs you stayed at too long. It comes when you're scrolling through old photos, realizing you were happy once, but didn't know it. No one teaches us to pay attention to the now. We're too busy chasing what's next. But next is just another version of now, one we might never reach. You were not meant to live on autopilot. You were not born just to chase the weekend. Your soul knows this. That's why you feel restless, why you daydream, why you crave something deeper. Because deep down, you know, there's more. More than just surviving. More than just getting by. You want to live, to be present, to feel awe, to cry without shame, to laugh until it hurts, to make memories so real they leave imprints on your skin. But to do that, you have to wake up. You have to unplug from the noise. You have to stop numbing the ache and start listening to it. The ache is a signal. It's your heart reminding you you're still here. You still can. And that's more than most people realize until it's gone. Your future self is watching, begging you not to waste this chapter, not to throw away these pages. So write the damn story. Make it messy. Make it bold. Make it yours. Look around you. Every object you see, every person you love, every breath you take, all of it exists in this fleeting, fragile present. But we keep trading this moment for a fantasy future, one where everything will finally make sense, where we'll finally be happy, finally be ready. But that future, it only exists if you make something of now. The truth is, your best memories haven't happened yet, but they won't happen if you keep living like time owes you something. It doesn't. Time isn't a gift, it's a loan. And every second you spend doubting yourself is a second you'll never get back. So stop waiting to feel fearless. Fear isn't your enemy. Comfort is. Comfort is quiet. It's reasonable. It tells you, stay here, don't risk it. What if you fail? But failure isn't the end. It's the sign that you started. And starting is what most people never do. Most people will scroll past this message. They'll forget it, go back to the noise, the numbness, the same routines that stole their weeks, their months, their years. But not you. You're still here, reading this, feeling something stir. That feeling, that's your future knocking, asking if you're ready to wake up. Because this is your moment. Not tomorrow, not someday. This one, right now. And if you don't take it, someone else will. Someone with less talent, less experience, but more intention. Because that's all it takes. Not perfection, just presence. The decision to show up today for your art, your dream, your people, your purpose. To live not by default, but by design. Ask yourself this. What would your life look like if you started treating time like money? If every hour cost you $1,000, would you still waste it on things that drain you? Would you still argue over things you don't care about? Would you still let other people decide how your day should go? Probably not. You'd protect your time like your life depended on it. Because it does. Time is the only thing you spend that you can never earn back. And yet, we give it away so easily. We say yes when we want to say no. We avoid silence because it forces us to face what matters. We keep ourselves busy just to avoid feeling lost. But busy doesn't mean full. Busy doesn't mean fulfilled. Busy is often just distraction in disguise. Look at your calendar. Look at how you spend your evenings. Look at your screen time. That's your real life. Not the one in your head. Not the one you plan to live when things calm down. That version doesn't exist. So stop fantasizing about a life you're not building. And start building. Even if it's messy. Even if it's small. Even if it's slow. Because the smallest step forward is infinitely more powerful than the perfect plan that never begins. You don't need to move mountains. You just need to move your mind, your heart, your energy. Because once you start, momentum finds you. And when it does, everything changes. Remember this. Nobody remembers the perfect days. They remember the moments that shook them awake, the conversations that changed their direction, the nights they cried on the bathroom floor and still got up the next morning. The stories worth telling are the ones where you showed up scared but honest, where you risked being misunderstood to speak your truth, where you let someone in even when it was easier to stay guarded. You don't need to become someone else to be enough. You just need to become yourself, fully, unapologetically, deliberately. The world doesn't need more copies. It needs more souls who are real. Real in their joy, real in their pain, real in their weirdness, their wonder, their depth. Because here's the truth. No one else will ever live your life. No one will see through your eyes, feel with your heart, or think the way you do. That means your voice, it's not just important, it's irreplaceable. But if you stay quiet, if you wait until you know enough or feel ready, then the world misses out on something only you could give. You matter, but not because of your achievements, not because of your follower count, not because of how busy you are. You matter because you exist, because you breathe, you feel, you hope. That alone is enough. But you can do more. You can be more. Not for validation, but for alignment, for peace. Because when you start living in alignment with what truly matters to you, your energy shifts, your circle shifts, your entire life shifts. There's a version of you quietly waiting beneath the surface. A version that doesn't care about impressing people. A version that wakes up excited, not exhausted. A version that laughs louder, breathes deeper, and feels lighter. That version of you isn't found in some distant future. It's unlocked, moment by moment, through choice. The choice to say no when something doesn't align. The choice to walk away from what's killing your spirit. The choice to chase what lights you up even if no one claps. You don't owe anyone a version of yourself that feels fake. You don't owe your past self the life you've outgrown. You owe yourself honesty. And you owe your future bravery. Because living small doesn't serve anyone. And settling for fine is how beautiful lives quietly die. The truth is, you could rebuild your life from scratch right now. You could let go of every should, every script, every invisible rule, and decide today to start writing your own story. Messy? Absolutely. Scary? Of course. But worth it every single second. And the wildest part, you're already allowed to begin. No more waiting for permission. No more waiting for signs. The universe responds to movement, to bold decisions, to the quiet power of someone who finally says, I'm ready. Not perfect, not fearless, just ready. You see, no one tells you how loud the silence is when you realize you've been living for everyone but yourself. No one warns you that one day you'll sit in a quiet room and wonder, who am I really when no one's watching? We spend so much time performing, being the good student, the loyal friend, the polite adult. We wear the masks so long we forget what our real face even looks like. But eventually, the weight of pretending cracks the surface. You feel it when you're alone at night, staring at the ceiling. That tug in your chest, that whisper in your soul saying, there's more. More than this routine, more than this numbness, more than this life that fits but doesn't feel right. And here's the wild truth. That voice, that ache, it's not the problem. It's the invitation. The invitation to go deeper, to question the path you're on, to ask yourself not what the world wants from you, but what you truly want from this life. Because you only get one chance to be the real you, not the version that fits in, but the one that breaks out. What if you stopped living like you're running out of time and started living like your time actually matters? What if every morning wasn't just another day, but the only July 27th, 2025 you'll ever get? That's not just poetic, it's math. Time only moves one way, forward. And your future self, they're either going to thank you or wish you'd started sooner. Regret is a quiet ghost. It doesn't scream, it lingers. It waits until the noise fades, and then it speaks. Not in anger, not in rage, but in a soft voice that says, "You could have done more. You should have said something. Why didn't you try?" And by then, it's not that you can't go back. It's that going back no longer exists. Time is like a river, always flowing, never pausing. You can dip your hands in, try to hold it, but it slips through your fingers every time. So here's the truth most people won't say out loud. You're not stuck. You're scared. And that's okay. Fear isn't weakness. It's a compass. It shows you where the edge is and dares you to jump. Not recklessly, but boldly. Because everything you want is hiding behind the things you avoid. The conversations, the risks, the boundaries, the vulnerability. Every version of you that could exist is waiting on the other side of one small decision. To stop wasting time, to stop waiting for clarity, to stop chasing certainty, to stop assuming there will always be more time. Because at the end of it all, you won't remember the followers, the likes, or the titles. You'll remember the quiet moments, when you felt alive, when you chose love, when you stood up for yourself, when you took a deep breath and said, "This is my life, and I'm going to live it." So take that trip, make that call, write the story, start the project, say the words you've been holding back. Because time doesn't knock, it whispers. And right now, it's asking you, are you really living or just existing? Before you die, make sure you've actually lived. If this message stirred something in you, subscribe. Not because it helps the algorithm, but because it helps you remember. You weren't meant to sleepwalk through life. You were meant to wake up. And I'll be right here, reminding you again, whenever the world tries to make you forget.